Join me as I dive into the incredible journey of an African princess and see if I can uncover the truth behind her shocking story. After Sarah and Prince Akin's marriage, the people of the kingdom were filled with joy, but Sarah's life was not without challenges. Though she had earned the prince's heart, some of the nobles were still skeptical of her, doubting whether a humble village girl could truly lead with wisdom and grace. Sarah's strength was tested as she navigated the complex political landscape of the palace, where jealousy and power struggles simmered beneath the surface. One such noble, Baron Ola, a former ally of the late king, questioned Sarah's authority at every turn. He belittled her decisions in the council, mocking her for her modest upbringing. Sarah, however, remained calm and resolute. She used her knowledge of the land and its people to introduce new agricultural practices, improving the crops and strengthening the economy. She encouraged trade with neighboring kingdoms and worked to improve education and health in the rural areas. Despite her best efforts, Baron Ola's influence grew, and he started stirring unrest among the common people. He even accused Sarah of undermining the traditions of the kingdom. In the village where Sarah grew up, the elders gathered in a sacred circle to discuss the troubling events that had reached their ears. Among them was Elder Alu, an old man who had watched over Sarah since she was a child. He shared an ancient prophecy that had been passed down through generations of their people. The one who rises from humble beginnings, whose heart is pure and whose wisdom is unshakable, will face great trials, Elder Alu explained. But they will prevail, for the strength of their ancestors is with them, and the land itself will guide their path. The elders had long believed that one day a leader like Sarah would rise, one who would unite the fragmented kingdoms and restore peace. But the prophecy warned that the land would not easily give up its power, and that those who wish to rule must first prove themselves worthy. Elder Alu's words gave Sarah strength. She realized that her challenges were not personal but part of a greater destiny, a destiny tied to the very land she came from. In a bid to undermine Sarah, Baron Ola demanded a series of public trials, believing that they would expose her as unfit for leadership. He arranged for a trial of strength, where the kingdom's mightiest warriors would compete in feats of endurance, hunting, and combat. He also arranged for a trial of wisdom, where candidates would answer difficult questions about history, governance, and the future of the kingdom. Sarah accepted the trials, knowing that they were an opportunity to prove her worth. For the trial of strength, she called upon the spirit of the land, the wisdom of the elders, and the courage of her ancestors. On the day of the trial, she amazed the spectators by running faster than the fleetest-footed warriors, lifting stones that no man could move, and catching prey with unmatched skill. But the trial of wisdom was more complex. Baron Ola thought he could trap her with impossible questions, but Sarah responded with grace, drawing from the stories of her ancestors, the teachings of her father, and the knowledge she had gained from the land itself. She spoke of unity, justice, and the importance of preserving the natural world, and her answers resonated deeply with the people. The crowd cheered, and even the king, who had been quietly observing, nodded in approval. Sarah had passed both trials with honor, earning the respect of the court and the common folk alike. However, not all were pleased with Sarah's triumph. Baron Ola, humiliated and furious, began plotting against her. He sought the help of an old sorcerer, Ejiro, who lived deep in the mountains and was known for his dark powers. Ejiro promised to give Baron Ola the power to overthrow the queen, but the price was high. He demanded the sacrifice of a royal bloodline. Baron Ola, desperate for power, agreed. Ejiro cast a spell, one that caused a rift between Sarah and Prince Akin. The sorcerer's magic clouded Akin's mind, filling him with doubt about his wife's abilities and loyalty. Sarah began to notice a coldness in Akin's eyes, and their once joyous relationship began to wither. In her despair, Sarah returned to the sacred baobab tree, seeking solace. As she wept, the spirit of the baobab appeared once more. "Do not lose heart, child," the spirit said. "The trials you face are part of your journey. True leaders are not defined by the ease of their rule, but by their ability to rise through hardship." The baobab spirit told Sarah that the only way to break the spell cast by Ejiro was to seek out the heart of the earth, a rare and mystical stone hidden deep within the heart of the forest. This stone, the spirit explained, contained the power to purify the mind and restore harmony. Sarah, undeterred, set off on a dangerous journey into the forest, knowing that the fate of her kingdom and marriage rested on her shoulders. The forest was dense and full of dangers, but Sarah was not afraid. She had grown up learning the ways of the wilderness from her father, and she understood that the forest, though filled with challenges, was also a place of wisdom. Along the way, she encountered Toby, a young hunter who had lost his way while searching for the heart of the earth. Sarah and Toby became allies, as he guided her through the forest, and together they faced fierce beasts, treacherous terrain, and illusions created by Ejiro's dark magic. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they met a spirit of the trees, Nimbi, who revealed the location of the heart of the earth. But the stone was guarded by a powerful creature, a giant serpent that had lived for centuries, its body coiled around the stone. Sarah, armed only with her courage and the teachings of her elders, approached the serpent. She spoke to it with respect and understanding, explaining her mission and her desire to bring peace to her kingdom. The serpent, moved by her wisdom and sincerity, allowed her to pass. Sarah took the heart of the earth, a brilliant stone that pulsed with energy, and returned to the palace. She placed it before Prince Akin and spoke from her heart. The magic that had clouded his mind faded, and he remembered the love they had shared, the dreams they had built together. Baron Ola's treachery was exposed, and he was banished from the kingdom. With the heart of the earth, Sarah and Akin restored balance to the land and the kingdom, ensuring peace for generations to come. Years passed, and Sarah and Akin ruled with wisdom, love, and fairness. They built a kingdom where people of all walks of life were valued, and the land flourished under their care. Sarah's story became legend, passed down through generations as a reminder of the strength, courage, and wisdom that comes from the earth itself. The baobab tree, which had once whispered to her in her darkest hour, stood tall and proud, its roots entwined with the heart of the kingdom. And so, the legacy of Queen Sarah, the true African Cinderella, lived on, a queen not defined by magic, but by the unshakable strength of her spirit.